San Jose Sharks have picked up Dubnyk and Donato for a couple of picks. So let's break that down. Really underwhelming returns here for the Wild. And you couple that with the Eric Staal deal. I like the fact they're trying things. I like the fact they're doing stuff. Because before they've kind of been that perennial team that every year makes the playoffs but doesn't do anything. And you don't really want to be that team. You don't accomplish anything. You might make a little bit of extra money, but in the long run, it usually hurts your team to just constantly make the playoffs and not do anything, because then you're not picking up draft picks. So I like the fact they're sort of changing it up and mixing it around. But at the same time, what are they doing? So yeah. And on the Shark side, what are you? What are you trying to be? What's going on here? Let's break it down. Okay, so for the Donato deal, it was a third-round pick, and the Sharks got him. He's on a 1.9 mil salary for this season and this season only, and he got 26 points out of 62 games last year, so not a terrible return. So yeah, it's not a bad return. A third-round pick has roughly like a 10 to 15% chance of making 200 games plus in the NHL, so in other words, being an impact player. Yeah, and Donato is that already. Like, that's usually the players that you can pick up there in the third round. I know he's a second-round pick, but yeah, there's a little bit of upside to him. And, he might get 30, 40 points if he stays healthy for a whole year. So not a terrible player in that sense. So I don't get what's the deal with the Wild there. I don't know if there's a bigger plan at play there, but I think that's just a random trade for the sake of a trade for some reason, or if he didn't fit. Great move by the Sharks. However, then there's a little bit more. I do think these trades are a little bit linked because I just seem like that Donato trade's just a little bit undervalued. Like a third doesn't seem like to be a lot. And they clearly wanted to move on from the Dubnyk deal, and they have. So the Sharks give them a fifth, and the Wild retain 50% salary, so $2.1 million. And they give them a 2022 seventh, and the fifth is also from 2022. He only has 1 year left on his deal. It's a very cheap way to get a decent-ish a backup that may be a good backup in this league. But the Sharks have really, really woeful goaltending in the last few years. It's what's cost them in the long run, and they had one of the best goaltenders too. Like it was unreal, just the fall off a cliff that is, and I wonder if down the road we find out there was like a back or a hip issue or just something that didn't make sense. Because yeah, the fall from grace that Martin Jones has had is pretty crazy. So I think they're trying to get Dubnyk and hopefully only need to play them both 50% of the time, and then hoping that in turn brings rewards. Like I said in numerous videos, it's smart to have two goaltenders just because of how much you'll need to play this season coming up. It looks like it'll be a pretty truncated season, so two goalies will get you points and will win you games. But these two goalies, like, oh boy. I really hope Martin Jones gets it together. I really do. I think he was so good a few years ago. Now he's one of the worst in the league. Like, I don't understand. But Dubnyk, I think we're done with him, at least as a starter, but maybe even as a backup. We'll find out this year. We'll find out. As for the Wild, I don't know. Like, I think Donato was part of this, and you got to look at it as just one trade. I have a feeling Donato was a little bit a part of this to throw it in to get out from Dubnyk. Both teams have a lot of, the Sharks at least have a lot of cap space. They have $9.3 million to play with. I don't know what their internal budget is. I mean, being a Californian team, maybe a little bit hard to spend to that. But we'll see what they'll be able to do towards the deadline. But I think it's a little bit smarter to get, a couple of draft picks and move around there. But however, they do have players like Logan Couture, Erik Karlsson, Brent Burns. And if they're not looking to move any of those players who, by the way, all have no movement, no trade clauses, then you kind of got to try win now. So see if they make a bit of a splash and try get another forward down the line. As for the Wild, oh boy, that goaltending, wow. They've got $12 million in cap space at least, so they have a lot of cap room to go. They have Starlock in on goaltending. Just seems like they've got a lot to do there. They've also got contracts very similar to the Sharks where they need to kind of be in now winning. You look at Subversion, Soda, Parise still for another like 5 years. Oh boy, Zuccarello. There's a whole host of players down there that indicates that they're looking to win, but they need at least a top line center and some way better goaltending. So I don't know how that's all going to look or what that looks like, but yeah, a lot to be done. So yeah, I really like the Donato deal to the Sharks, but I don't understand the Dubnyk side of things, and it could have just been this is the way that they had to get him. It does help the Sharks out a little bit. I don't get, unless it's they're making a splash in free agency or they're doing another trade the Wild, I don't get these moves at all. I just kind of thought unless you're going to spend the cap space to suck it up with Dubnyk, but hell, they'll be able to find someone. So yeah, but they've got a lot to do in the meantime. So yeah. Anyway, guys, if you did like this video, hit the like button. Otherwise, hit subscribe if you made it all this way and you haven't. It really does help us out. You have no idea. Tons more videos today. I think it's going to be like another 4 at least, maybe 5. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and bye. Oh, and comment down below what do you think about this deal. Thanks. Bye.